Hello, my name is Julia Pearson, and I'm a dietetic intern here at James A. Haley. Today, I'll be breaking down step-by-step instructions on how to perform a continuous tube-feed education. Let's get started. The first step to a successful education is to gather all of your supplies. Remember to wash your hands beforehand to reduce the risk of contamination. The next step is to clean your surface area, again to avoid the risk of contamination. Now that you have clean hands and a clean workspace, next you'll want to gather all the equipment you'll need. First, let's grab our kangaroo pump. In the box, you'll receive the kangaroo pump, the battery pack, the IV pole clip, and the charger. Now let's prepare the pump. First, insert the battery pack and connect it to the pump. Close the chamber and screw shut. Finally, just screw on the IV pole clip and you have assembled and prepared your pump. Fun fact, on the back of the pump there's a place to store your feeding tip cap. Now that you have your pump prepared, it's time to grab your other equipment. You'll need an assembled IV pole, your feeding set, which includes both the bags and tube for an open system, your pump, syringe, clean water and measuring cup, and all the formula you'll need for the feeding. Now that we've gathered all of our equipment, we'll next want to connect the pump to the IV pole. This can be done by screwing the clip in a clockwise direction.
I'm not going the right way.
Until it's stable and attached to the IV pole. Now that your pump is attached, you can adjust the height as needed. Once it is set and secure, you're now ready to load your pump. Start by plugging in your pump and powering it on. To turn on, press the button in the lower right-hand corner. Note, with a brand new pump, you may be asked to choose a language at this time. Here you'll have the option to either keep your previous settings if you have programmed the pump before and your feedings always run at the same rate and volume. Your other option is to clear the previous setting to program the pump for the first time or to change the rate or volume. Today we'll be starting fresh. The pump screen will then say load a set. To load a set, grab your feeding set and hook your feeding bag and your water bag to the IV pole. Next, open the set loading door to the feeding set loading area. Note that at the top there's a diagram to help. To load, hold the finger tab on your feeding set and slide the valve into the left pocket. Be sure to press the tab down firmly. Then gently stretch the tubing counterclockwise around the rotor. Carefully pull the black ring retainer end up, then lower it into the pocket. Hold tubing up and close the feeding set door. Once your pump is loaded, you're able to adjust pump settings. Note on the left-hand side there are various menu selections. Use Prime Pump to access pump priming methods. This will be used immediately prior to feeding to remove air from the tube so it does not enter the stomach or intestines. Auto Prime automatically primes the pump. The pump itself will feed the line and stop the formula before reaching the end of the feeding line. Hold to prime flush and feed allow you to manually prime the line. Pressing Done returns you to the main menu. Adjust Feed will allow you to set the feeding rate. Select Feed Rate and use the buttons to the left to program the pump anywhere from 1 to 400 milliliters. Press Enter once desired amount is chosen. On the right-hand side, you'll see your feed rate has been adjusted. Feed VTBD stands for Volume to be Delivered. Only use this option if you want the pump to stop an alarm once a set amount of formula is delivered. Note that this is a common problem. If your patient complains their pump keeps alarming, check that volume to be delivered is set to 0. Once you have adjusted your feed to your desired amount, press Done. Utilize the same technique to adjust flushes as well. Flush volume to select the amount of water flush to be given. Flush interval to select how often flushes are given. Once all settings have been adjusted appropriately, press Run to begin feed. Note, another option offered while pump is running is KTO, or Keep Tube Open. This function helps prevent blockages of the feeding set by moving the feeding solution periodically within the tube. For additional features, press More. Buzzer allows you to increase or decrease the alarm buzzer volume. History allows you to review feed and flush totals for up to 72 hours of previous history. Note, this excludes data from the current hour. Select Language to change the language. This allows you to change between continuous and intermittent feeding mode. You have now assembled, loaded, and programmed your pump, and you're ready to begin feeds. Before we get started, let's talk safety by talking about the storage and disposal of formula, supplies, and equipment. Hang time is the length of time a tube feeding formula is at room temperature after the can has been opened. In an open system where the formula is poured into the feeding bag, hang time varies by setting and type of formula. Maximum hang times are as listed. Note, opened formula containers should always be labeled, covered, and refrigerated. Open containers must be discarded after 24 hours. Note the Aspen guidelines on types of water that may be used for enteral flushes. Safe choices include distribution water and drinking water dependent on the degree of contaminants, purified water for medication preparation, and sterile water for reconstituting powdered formula. All feeding sets, feeding bags, and syringes should be stored in a clean, dry place. Avoid storing these outside or in a basement where the Florida humidity or mice and other critters can get to them. Keep away from dust, garbage, litter boxes, and out of reach from young children. That concludes Part 1 to our continuous tube feed education.